I think that seems like I shouldn't take that meta call in this store necessarily for the players that have multiple deck choices, right? But like definitely you show up with your deck. I also think that there are a lot of people are saying mono green is just real powerful. The deck is very consistent. We talked about in the beginning of this tournament. Yeah, it's just real powerful. So interesting question. I see Joe here is filtering through some tokens. I asked Potter this last round. So talk to me about your decisions in token selection.
About my personal ones, my personal token selection decisions.
Yeah, and talk to me like about what you appreciate from other people. Like, what are the ones where you're like, these I love them. These are like bottom tier garbage tokens, right?
Okay. So to speak to my own personal token collection, I have now started to collect Pokemon cards because I love how well they work as magic tokens. I had never thought of it when I had started to play the game, and then I had been playing for like 2 years, and somebody puts a Pokemon card in against me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's actually a cat, and it's a cat in the game, and like
there you go.
Like my nostalgia was hit. It was just perfect. So that's my favorite.
I like that a lot. I think that was good, and you get really pretty cards, right? Some for some reason worth a lot more money than I am able to justify. I mean, I say that same thing for magic cards often though, but I say that as I'm sitting here just salivating over a full text or no text Omnath. It's just like the prettiest ever. So that's a joke. I think the Pokemon cards are fantastic. I think you know that like my favorite tokens, like I talked about with Potter, are board game pieces.
Right.
So I really enjoy, like I bought a game specifically for pretty art. I have a day night card that is super cool where it's just one side is like a bed and it's really neat. And then the other side is this very bright color. I think it says like jellyfish port on it. Doesn't necessarily emanate daytime, but it feels like it is that. And it makes me happy. What would you say, in your mind is Potter's token decision on what he would play?
So I have watched Potter put in some nice numals and camera-ups, which are specifically camel Pokemon.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But I don't know what he would have said.
Potter said, what is within arm's reach? It is the day night is being tracked by the shiny side of this sleeve versus the matte side of that sleeve.
That's a good Potter answer.
Absolutely horrible. It hurts my soul. So I guess we're playing Magic here. So you can see that that mono green is getting out of heads, getting a lot of stuff going. The reason I really like this Abzan Greasefang deck is turn 2 Grizzly Salvage, turn 3 Greasefang is pretty powerful. We don't see a hit off of hitting a vehicle in any of those 5 cards though, which is kind of what you're really, really looking for, right? This Rafine's Informant probably has the ability to loot away a Parhelion to be able to then Greasefang the following turn. It is a turn slower. But I mean, talk to me about this matchup. Who do you like? Which side do you think is the side you would like to be playing on?
So I have trouble talking about this Greasefang deck because it looks so different in so many of its games.
That's true.
Yep. I think last night maybe it was the last FNM, but I played against a Greasefang player that turn 3'd me and then turn 4'd me, and
unbeatable.
If that's what you're going to do every time, there's no way that I want to sit on any other side of the matchup, right?
Yeah.
But that's not what's going to happen here. And here's a Karn in play.
Yeah.
So the combo's done.
Yeah. The interesting thing. So I think the Greasefang deck having things like, this card's just going to die, right? Tutor up a land. We got is it a 2/1? It didn't get a counter because he pitched a land.
True.
Card's not going to die. That's not good. Well, so the thing that's interesting is I think with the Abzan deck, we talked about creativity earlier, right? I would much rather be on the creativity side of the mono green matchup, right? Okay. Because I think that you just have the ability to kill your opponent consistently, right? I think the Abzan deck is more consistent than the creativity deck in my mind. Yeah, they have cantrips. Yeah, they have some selection, but like you have Grizzly Salvage, right? You have like powerful cards that are cheaper and dig deeper than the creativity deck does. The only reason I have hesitancy is the green deck can't really interact basically at all with the creativity deck, whereas the green deck can very, very much interact with this Greasefang deck because of Karn. Right. And I think that is where I feel like I agree with you that I want to be on the the green side of this matchup. But like I feel like Parhelion is the way you win. Like get a Parhelion, the game's over. What's interesting is like what's the plan for Karn? Is it just Thoughtseize is the only hope? Right? Like, do we see anything in the Greasefang deck that is good interaction with that?
So Trophy and Tear Asunder
Oh no.
would have both
Wait, is
remove
this
a Karn from the sideboard.
Yes, I love it. So I talked to Potter about this.
Okay.
This is the player I watched play our creativity player in between the match a few rounds ago when you were commenting with Potter. And we had a situation of creativity goes for it, 2 treasures. Liliana at 6 on the other side of the board. Creativity, the Abzan Greasefang player, this player on our right here, the Sage is a treasure. We talked about that in the Monterey matchup. Turns it into a coin flip. Coin flip hits World Spine Worm.
Okay.
Get the good half against a Liliana at 6. And then you're like, oh no, I can't ult, right? Any pile of the World Spine Worms and you're like, sack it. Get 3 guys just like absolutely can't ever touch a pile with that Liliana.
Right.
No cards in hand. World Spine Worms faces for 15.
Okay.
Need 1 more hit for lethal. No cards in on either side. Tear Asunder off the top.
Oh my gosh.
Kicked, exile your creature, and just
no
devastating.
Worms. Yeah.
Devastating.
Oh my gosh.
And the creative deck didn't even have like other cards to be able to close the 5 damage gap. Luckily, they then also drew a Greasefang and were able to just murder their opponent. So it didn't take long for the grind, but Tearaway's sweet.
Yeah.
Tear Asunder is a sweet magic card. Like,
absolutely. It's abrupt decay when you wanted to kill Rip or a graveyard hate artifact, and it's kill anything.
Indicate,
when you need it to be that.
But exiling so important, especially in the mono green matchup, right?
True.
Which is where like I think like post board, I like some of what this this Abzan decks, because again, I mean, one of the issues with mono green is they can't really sideboard, right?
Right.
So like game 1, I kind of almost always favor mono green, right? Because they're just consistent, they're very powerful. But with Abzan, I think that getting to sideboard, getting in some more powerful cards, I think maybe could tip it in their scales. But so in this game, what do we got? We got Karn gone, Cavalier on side, board's kind of stalled, and we're just looking for the big combo on our Greasefang side, right? We're looking for getting our Greasefang, I don't think there's a Parhelion in the yard there, sadly. We do have a Greasefang in the yard. I think there's a Can't Stay Away in the yard, so we can do that if we need to. I think we're going to have a big turn here, or are we going to have a build-up turn from the... I'm trying to figure out, like, if there's a Wolfwell Haven, I think you can generate a bunch more mana because of the Nykthos. Basically, is free. But we're not going to really get more than the 4 mana we have access to, right?
True. And Joe's, I think, figuring that out and trying to come up with the best way to use mana. Okay.
Our Haven,
that's another
still
devotion.
4, but it's still 4,
right? But we just but the
Agreed.
Haven's like free.
Yeah, the Haven's free with this. So then we can just do both our Oath and our Kiora if we want to put it out there. What are we looking for here? Are we looking for a land? Or maybe like an Old Growth Troll, right? Like the Old Growth Troll will be great. Even an elf. Because you can Kiora minus play an elf. Like that's still fine.
Yep.
Get ready for your, I don't know. This card's so good though, right? But now you only got the 3. Yeah, there's no way to get this card into play this turn. Land will... What's the card on the full left of...
I believe that is a Teferi Who Slows the Sunset.
Oh. Well, that card is playable in this Oath Anissa. Because if you take the land, now you can Kiora untap and play. No, you can't Kiora untap. Kiora doesn't make more mana, so you just have to play the Teferi, right? Because Kiora would only be able to you'd tap out a mana, have 1 left. You can't use the Nykthos. So you play the Teferi. And this is what, Anticipate? Like not you're not plusing, right?
Yeah, because we don't have anything to cast.
Unless you're using to make your guy Vigilance, right? But I'm not trying to chip shot for 5. Okay. Ooh, artifact on tap.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
I did not either.
That's sweet. I like that interaction a lot.
Yeah.
So now we You don't serve there for 5 first, just to get your value. Get your free shot for 5. Because we can't crew this chariot, right? We just give our guy
Yeah.
vigilance.
I don't know. I like protecting my planeswalkers that I'm playing.
Well, no, so you attack for 5 and then you use your fairy to untap
Oh,
it.
okay. True.
Like
Instead of targeting
threw
your
it away
opponent's
at random
cat.
thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but now I'm attacking anyway.
True.
Whereas if I just attack first, I get vigilance, protect with my planeswalkers.
That makes sense.
I don't like this that much now. Wait,
But it's one little thing.
did
I
they
mean, we
attack?
still
Oh, the
put.
Kiora to untap. So it's one loyalty off the
Okay,
Kiora. That's fine
okay,
because we're going to
okay.
use that loyalty there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's the difference between one more loyalty on your Kiora, which is probably irrelevant. That card has so much loyalty.
It does.
It is shocking.
Yep.
If like it, a lot of times it feels like Oko level loyalty where you're like, it has what now? Yeah.
They really designed it so you are
Oh.
not incentivized to attack it or
Yeah.
it stays in play.
Kill Your Oath does not feel like good magic. Like this doesn't feel good to me. Like, that's all.
Especially when the Teferi's already in play.
Yeah,
If it was
yeah.
still in the hand, I like it.
Yeah.
Techie.
How do you feel about the Teferi versions of this deck? We saw the mono green earlier was not on Teferi, right? They
Mhm.
they had like a Nissa.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Teferis versus not Teferis?
So I like to lean on better Magic players or Magic players with more experience than me, and the few people who talk about mono green think like Andrew Ellenbogen, I think is one person that I've seen say this.
Sure.
The first one's free. The
Teferi.
first Teferi is free, and it is your best flex card.
Mhm.
Because it's just so much easier to
Mhm.
combo while it's in play.
Yep.
And when you just only have one in your deck, the times that you draw it are so few, and the times that you put it in playoff storm or you draw it when you can actually cast it are just high enough that the first one's pretty free.
Okay.
And then past
I mean, like what you're saying, right? Like it feels like if we untap right here, I think Joe might just get him.
has a very high likelihood.
Okay, we're killing
to-
the Nykthos.
Okay. That makes that.
That's fine.
Mhm. So now we
So
like
maybe
need to hit a Nykthos
off the
and a Karn
storm.
off the storm.
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
before we just kind of needed 2 good cards.
Yeah, but like with the Kiora, like Cavaliers are nuts, right?
Yeah.
But that's fair. Sorry, so you were saying first one's free. What about why not 2? I mean, I think our list is running 2, right? No, just the one.
Yep, Joe just has the one.
Just the free.
I think that Joe is actually playing Andrew Ellenbogen's list, at least his main deck. And so the other 2 flex slots in the list would be Sky Sovereign Console Flagship and Sylvan Caryatid.
Yep.
And I think we've just seen Sky Sovereign prove itself as a good enough permanent to be in the deck. It gets hit off Storm. It is creature interaction for the matchups that you believe are tough.
Completely agree.
And then the last flex slot is just, I think, the next best or safest way to be increasing your mana count.
Yeah, why not 2 Teferi though? Like what's the reason you would want to play 2 Teferi over the Caryatid or the Sky Sovereign? Like what's the matchup you're worried about? Is it like I think Caryatid is really, really bad into red black.
Okay.
Because it doesn't block anything profitably. And it I guess they're not playing a lot of lilies anymore, so it's not as bad.
Yeah.
So it is a way to keep it protected. So maybe that's fine. But
I also don't think it's as much of like a matchup thing or like this deck is so math intensive and mana intensive that like it's just like the correct collection of cards to make sure that I'm doing my thing.
I get you.
Like
Find the right consistency. So we got a Nykthos here. So we had a Nykthos return. We then hit a Nykthos. Oh, but it's only a Wolfwell Haven, right? So no other payoff. We might see a Teferi Anticipate, right? That's what the minus is. Is it actual Anticipate or is it like?
I believe
close
you're
to it?
correct.
I can't read that from here.
It is actually Anticipate.
Neat.
Yep.
So-
One in the hand, rest on the bottom.
We might see that because we have a bunch of mana, right? We got an absurd amount of mana right now because we still have. We don't have any floating. I guess we're flashing back the storm there, right? So like, what do we got? We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, but we can use Kiora, right? So like this troll's free. So with
Free and draws a card.
yeah, right. So how much mana we got? Because we had some floating, right?
Yep.
So 6, 7. We have a Wolfwell Haven 8, 9, 10, 11 without activating Kiora, right?
Oh man.
What's wrong?
it's just a lot of mana. I'm
Yeah.
just and Joe's clearly communicating things and counting and
Yeah, he feels confident, right?
yeah.
So 11 mana Flashbacker Storm. I mean, still have a Kiora activation. Do we activate the Kiora first, right? Because you might hit another Kiora
Mm,
and like just untap the Nykthos. Because like
yes.
we've just seen 3 Nykthoses already, right? Like the
Mhm.
odds we're gonna hit another Nykthos and want it
Right.
incredibly low, right?
True.
Whereas odds we want another Kiora, maybe.
That was
Bunch of storms.
yeah, that was a storm off the Teferi Anticipate, I believe. So I think
Kiora and Sky Sovereign.
Mhm.
Oath is probably better than Kiora, right? You want to find your we don't really well, I guess you said you picked up Storm off the yeah, so it wasn't the flashback one. That was the,
Right. Yeah. So we have 2 to flashback in our graveyard.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting this new Kiora, it's just gonna help us combo, right?
Yep. Yep.
It's not so I definitely would have liked the activating on the Nykthos, but you have an absurd amount of mana, so
Yeah.
find the land. So like 3rd card. Troll. Okay.
Mhm.
Is free. Draws card.
Yep.
Well, I guess it's not. No, it is free because we should have like 4 or 5 floating right now, right?
At least.
Maybe not. I thought we would have. I thought we had 9, so 6. I think maybe only we had 2. We had 3 floating and we cast the other 3. We only had 2 floating. So we
Okay.
actually have to activate this Nykthos
Okay.
before we cast the troll, which is not great. Still absurd amount of mana.
Yeah, we're so likely to find another Nykthos though off double if we're making enough mana for double Storm because Storm can find Cavalier that can also find Nykthos.
Well, there's only 1 Nykthos in the deck though.
Left?
Yeah,
Really?
because there's 2
Oh,
in the
yep,
yard and
there
1
they
in play,
are.
right?
There
Because
they
1
are.
got blown up.
Oh,
Yeah, we found
but-
the Karn.
But we see a concession.
Yeah, I think
Oh, does Karn mean that the game's actually over because we just go get Pestilent Cauldron?
I don't believe that it is lethal. Well, you don't get Cauldron, you get Chain Veil,
Yeah,
and then
right,
with the
right.
fairy, that's infinite life, right?
Right.
Infinite life and infinite mana, and then you
Yeah.
eventually kill him.
Yep.
Because we still had mana floating. Yeah. Definitely, we have enough to get the Chain Veil and use it, I think.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing is, even if Karn doesn't have text of get a card, our Greasefang deck's not going to be a card. Right?
Yep,
Like,
yep,
the only
yep,
way that
yep.
they're going to win is be able to like spike it, Grizzly Salvage into a Greasefang, hit
Yep.
the Parhelion, spike them,
Mhm.
kill them. So
Maybe even put it up to 6 and just
Yeah.
say go.
Yeah. demoralizing. All right, what do we like from the sideboarding? I've talked about like some of the green players here. They tend to have like 1 card they bring in. This one, I don't know that you're bringing in any magic cards, are you?
You don't want to bring in Crypt because you want to go get Crypt with your Karn and just put it in play, right?
I think I'm bringing in Needle,
Okay.
right? I personally would want the cheaper cards. Yeah, don't read that card. Navigator's Compass is not. It's not a good one.
Okay.
It's not a good one. It is a way to help cast that 1 to fairy and gain that 3 life against the red or white decks. But it's not-
Look, sometimes I just want my Karn to gain me 3 life.
it's called blocking. Is there like a Memnite or an Ornithopter in Pioneer or something? Just play one of those.
There's one. Oh, you are
Yeah.
allowed to have one of those.
I would play that instead of a Navigator's Compass.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I want the Needle in, right? Because like
Mhm.
I might even want the Crypt in because Karn in play stops the graveyard stuff, right?
Okay.
They have to have their removal spell or interaction spell to undo that.
Mhm.
Whereas the way I get got is the before turn 3. And having a 0 mana play that buys me a turn at
Okay.
least.
Okay.
I personally think I would bring in the Needle and the Crypt, which
All
is
right.
maybe wrong, right? But
No, but I see the logic that you're using to get there.
again,
for
like
sure.
think about the Greasefang deck. How are
Yeah.
you winning this game?
Mhm.
You're just killing them.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And it's got to be fast.
It's got to be 4 Karns in play.
Yep.
Or you have interacted with the Karn and
Right.
now they're dead. Right.
Right.
Especially on the draw. I think on the draw, I definitely want this
Yeah.
Crypt and this Needle, right?
Yep.
All right. So from the Greasefang side, what do we think?
So I think we want the Fatal Pushes for Elfish Mystic and Llanowar Elves. And then also probably the cards that remove Karn.
Do we want the Fatal Pushes? So interesting thing I really like about one of the reasons I actually like Greasefang in the matchup.
Okay.
Which I think post board, I think I'm gonna lean on Greasefang to still win this match, actually.
All right.
So card Witherboom command.
Yes.
Kill Elf, kill Wolf Willow Haven.
True.
Very powerful.
Yes.
Very powerful.
Yes.
Right. Green deck without a lot of stuff going, that card is devastating. And we see 4 in Nick's deck, right?
Yep.
I think your brutality gets cut. I think the Skyship's not going to do anything, right? Like, I don't think you even want all these chariots. Like, you need to be part healing it, right?
Yep.
And I think that like lilies are bad, right? So you have a bunch of cuts.
Yep.
So at that point, I think Terra Sunder's great. Trophy's probably good.
Yep.
So then it just comes down to, do you want some fatal pushes for specifically Elf? Or do you want a Brock Decay for the needle that they might have? Right? Or to also kill Elf or Wolfo Haven.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't fault Nick for bringing in some fatal pushes, but like that's the bottom of my card after I've cut some things, right? And I'm cutting chariots. Do you want chariots over pushes or no?
I think that's really tough because
you're on the play.
Yeah. Like you said, though, I really just want to be Parhalioning when I put my Greasefang in play.
Yep.
So I think probably on the play, I would want the chariots, and then on the draw, I want the fatal pushes.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, we're shuffling up for game 2 here. Yeah, I think that like as I'm looking at these decks, I think Nick just got unlucky there, right? Like
I agree.
There was a lot of cards looking
Absolutely.
for Parhelion. We had the Can't Stay Away with the Greasefang, didn't materialize. Had a lot of lands in play, like a lot of land drops.
But this is also why I don't really like this deck, or like enjoy playing it personally as a choice, because I only have rules of force. All my combo cards, I only have 4 of. I can't get more than that. And so it just means that sometimes I'm gonna look at actually 30 cards in my deck and not see one of them.
Well, so interestingly, you can, right? There are some builds of Greasefang that are running evolution, right?
Sure.
Where you can evolve your Satyr Wayfinder into Greasefang.
Sure.
Or you can evolve your Stitcher Supplier into Greasefang, which is a pretty powerful way to sack that guy. I think that I think that those are, I mean, I would build my deck that way because I like choices. And they also a lot of times run 1 Shieldred, which seems like a sweet one to get off of your Fiends and Format of your Satyr Wayfinder in the right matchups, right? For your fair game plans.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that I, as a Magic player, get stuck with is Liliana the Veil. We've talked about this card.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. I assume you probably talked about it with Potter and the Red Black debrief, right? But this card, in my mind, seems fantastic. Seems like should be staple, should be epitome of Pioneer. Is this card backing it? In my mind, right?
Okay.
And it's just not very good.
Right.
Doesn't interact well. Doesn't interact with all these other cards that we're trying to stop stuff with. Exiling the way of the game, not sacrificing, right? So seeing Greasefang decks that play a bunch of them, especially in the main, like we've got 2 in the main from Nick's perspective here. Like that's basically just like a red black card, right? Like that's where you want it. That's pretty much it. Like, yeah, like the control decks and things like that, but like you don't want it against green, you don't want it against Mir, you don't want it against Phoenix, right?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that like that makes me lean away from the Lily control plan and lean into the I'm a creature deck evolution type of plan.
That makes sense. And I could get behind that. Absolutely. That's not what I'm see play right now.
Agreed.
So I can't get behind it. And I don't know, one thing to like, I want to evo into the new angel, Sarah Paragon, and then just continue to cast my
value
dorks.
time.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds cool to me. Yeah, you just cast stuff from your graveyard.
And like maybe even just like play more creatures in general, like you said. Like one thing that I think a lot of the Greasefang players are getting to is that Stitcher Supplier is actually a bad card.
Yes.
So they're not putting in their list, but if you have this
Evo,
card that you're planning to sack to your things, the one thing I don't like is milling a bunch of cards in my tutor heavy deck.
Yeah, but the problem is I think like you're also playing Can't Stay Away in this version probably.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
Because you have Stitcher suppliers and those are well together.
Mhm.
And I think that like I'm not saying tutor heavy. I'm saying like you want to tutor in Greasefang. Like evolutions are Greasefangs
Okay.
5 through 7 or 8, right?
Got it.
And then if you have a 1-of thing,
Yep.
or maybe a 2-of thing in the sideboard that's grindy, I don't have an issue with that, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think that mostly I think the Shieldred I like a lot better because like Chariot and Paragon, I think overlapping games where they're both good, where they're grindy, they're doing stuff, they're difficult to interact with against red, black, and stuff. Shieldred is good against a very different subset, right? Like the blue red decks that are just drawing a bunch of cards, Phoenix, things like that, right?
Yep.
So, all right, we see a mulligan here.
I think
Is this to 4?
Players. I think So
you just get a 4?
Yeah, I believe Joe's on 5 and Nick is on 4.
Welcome to Magic. We talked before about the London Mulligan and allowing decisions like this to happen.
Right.
I've won many games on one before. Right. It's not normally my style when I want to cast cards cost 5 mana, but
right. And especially like
see no second land on Joe's side.
Yeah.
That's a bit scary.
It might make it a lot harder for decks that like you like to play to win the game. But
absolutely,
if Nick is just looking at 2 lands, Grizzly Salvage, Greasefang, we just got to mill over a Parhelion and the game's over.
There's a Chariot.
Yep.
That's fine. No land though. No land's a big deal.
Oh man. Because we just want to keep.
We just need a land. We need a card from that.
Oh, that's a land. Land by Joe.
Yeah. So I see a Thoughtseize in Nick's hand, which not the thing I want to keep on a multiple for. I don't know if maybe he drew that for turn. I guess my opponent's on a 5 and they're a deck based on synergy. Yeah, you snap take cure, right? You can't hope that these yeah. We got a bit of a see who breaks out. He does have a 3rd land. So I mean, he doesn't have a Greasefang. He draws a Greasefang. We got Chariot. We're gonna fair mode this game. Oh, 1 land away. 1 land away from taking it over.
Oh man.
Oh, he passes. Every Magic card's good here. Yeah. Yeah. There's a guy.
What you just said is another reason why like this green deck I think is seeing a lot of success. Is there's just so many times where you look down at the board that you have in front of you and it's everyone I draw. They're just great.
Yeah, and it's like, let's say you draw your I always forget the name of this card, the like Coco card for permanence, right?
Yep.
I think if you draw that card, that's like your only mediocre to bad draw or 2 other of your Cavaliers. And even then you're like, okay, we'll get there. We'll get there, right? We need this eventually anyway. We found a Greasefang. Maybe a little bit too late though, because it's not a Parhelion. So we're definitely crewing because we're going to get this back if they block, right? So
true.
I definitely like suiting up and slamming.
Yeah, we want the Chariot to die and go to our graveyard, not come back to our hand.
Yeah, and even if it does, though, we're going to cast it again. So, like, okay, there's no Storm the Festival in the yard, right? This game's real. Drawing that Grease Train there got us back into the game. So, because the 5/6s can't really attack into our 3/2/2s, right? Just slam second one, hope to find a Nykthos and our Storm. There's a Nykthos. No Storm yet, though. So we got a bunch of mana. I don't know what that card in hand is. Bunch of mana, nothing to do with it, though. I mean, we could get to a spot where the Cavalier attacks. They like, I'm probably just taking it, actually, as Nick, right? Because I don't want it to die and then get back something.
Yep.
I really like an Oathedness in it, though, in the yard.
I
think it's a Parhelion in hand by Nick. Just need a way to get rid of it. Get a Chariot, get some cats. Oh man, we're running out of good tokens here. So, he has cats. Yeah. So talk to me about worst tokens.
Worst tokens?
Yeah. Are you on like Potter, where it's like Potter as a person taking a sleeve and this is my token?
So if you don't have a piece of cardboard to put in play in front of me, if you put a die in play, I'm upset.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I have had so many games where, especially in cubing and things, that's why I keep a lot of random colored sleeves around as various tokens to make up decisions. Somebody puts like 4 dice in play and I'm like, I don't know what these are. Right. They had flying.
Yep.
What are you talking about? They're sideways. They attacked.
Yep.
I need it could be a sleeve, but I need a thing that can tap. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that a D20 where it has a 1 and you can turn the 1 sideways
No.
is acceptable?
No.
Whereas like a D6 is not because it's dots. You can't tell which way it's oriented.
No. I even think that like I enjoy the fact that you have sleeves at your cube. I think it's like so like it's the bare minimum.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Like yeah, I want something. I want like yeah, even if it's just like literally a blank white actual piece of cardboard that then I'm taking and putting the die on for power and toughness. Like yeah.
I will say I have thought we see a lot of cats going in here. We see the chair getting blocked. I like this. I'm feeling actually pretty good from Greasefang side, right? We're like Joe has a few cards that are phenomenal draws now, right? Not all of them. Is that one of them? Well, it's a sky ship. That's pretty good. Kills this Greasefang.
Yep.
And then the board's stalled.
Yep.
So now we need to, because I think we just have a Parhelion in hand, right? That one's a pretty good draw. So we got still no attacks. Not incentivized to try and chip shot with word 8. Now I got a bunch of cards in hand. So what do we? Grizzly Salvage. Ooh, can't stay away. That one's good.
Yep.
Do we have a way to get rid of this Parhelion? We do not. We're going to keep making cats. Keep on catting. So, what do you say?
I was just going to ask, sort of related to the token thing. One thing that I've played the Greasefang deck like a little bit, like a couple FNMs.
Sure.
And whenever I put my Greasefang back off my Can't Stay Away, I go into my dice bag and I get one of my die with a symbol as a 1. And I like put it on the Greasefang as a way to remember that I need to exile the card.
100% like it. My instinct would be to pull it out of the sleeve slightly. Right. I think that is my indication of that's not right.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Like while I'm picking it up, I have to do something with it anyway. So might as well exile it.
Yep.
Whereas a token, I would be maybe confused. Also, I did that a lot for Eternalize, right? That was kind of the common thing to do with Eternalize is you just pull it out of the sleeve. That's your 4/4. So that would identify to me that it is to be exiled, right? But yeah, we're eating this chariot. It's just going to keep on keeping on. So we got a chump block with an elf. We're going to 2.
Yep.
This is do or die time by Joe, right? Like this is what I'm saying. Like the Greasefang deck, I will say chariot, very impressive this game. Did not think that it was going to be this absurd this quickly, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I think that I assumed the 5/6s were going to be the bigger ones. We boarded in the land.
Interesting.
He boarded in the Darksteel Citadel because he expects a lot of interaction from his opponent. That's very interesting. I didn't realize that they could do that. That makes sense. So on the token front, I've thought of like for my cube having even, have you seen like the dry erase board tokens? I think those are cool.
Yeah.
The problem with that is I watched last night, Kyle put in a Hornet Queen.
Okay.
And then tap his Krenko. My cube is weird. Tap his Krenko to make like 9 goblins.
Right.
While Ethan had 6 mirror tokens and also 4, I think, zombies. So the things degrade very quickly.
Yes.
And I will say I am a big fan of what we saw our Abzan player there doing is I want all the tokens in play. I don't want a token with 4 dice on it, like a number 4 die. I want physical cards, physical things. I want to see my 10 or 20 things in play, right?
Yeah.
And sideways with 2 hands, like not just the one, the one finger turn it a little bit, right? Like I want to feel like I've gone wide. So that would make the specific tokens or dry erase board or things like that a little bit unwieldy. But.
Right. You almost like really have to just accept that you're drawing all your little bees or whatever on your one whiteboard.
Which sounds fun. However, might make the games go a bit slower.
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit less about playing Magic, a little bit more about art.
Hey, I mean, what if we can incorporate that, right? You get some bonuses for drawing good bees, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the game becomes less about coin flipping. It becomes more about your artistic talent. Maybe that's like a board game we need, right? What can you use artistic talent for in a competitive standpoint? rap battles.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of artists. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
not just
Like, and I feel like there are like literal art competitions.
Are
like
there?
it's like
where we
you
all
know,
get like a
you-
canvas and we all just go at it.
not like under a time limit, but like as like
I've
the
made
competition, yes, will be on this day. If you would like to enter,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
But I'm talking like you sign up 50 minutes, mano a mano, art them out, right? And one art will be remaining. And you just go up the bracket, right? Like, hey, I'm 4-1 in my drawing of ducks today. Just getting got.
Yeah, I don't think it works quite as well though, where like what are the metrics for deciding who wins, you know? Like is it like literally just like the judge that
Absolutely
showed up that day is like you?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it?
That's the only way.
Okay, all right. As
Gotta
long
be-
as everybody
it can't be
accepts
one
that that's
person. It
reasonable.
would have to be like a panel of 3 judges.
three. Okay.
Because it has to be an odd number, right?
Okay.
And then they can all
Yep.
vote.
Yep.
And I think that the best way to there's apparently magic being played, but I think the best way that that this would work is I think that you would need a topic at least for the round.
Okay.
This we're drawing ducks. This we're drawing and like
Yeah.
what is the best duck that has been drawn? What is the best otter? What is the best, sunny
Mhm.
day?
So would it be like a 1v1 thing or would it be like
Absolutely.
cleave? Okay. So I'm thinking we would just cleave half the participants after each round.
Oh, you say bottom? No, I think it's got to be bracketed. You got to say
Okay.
I did well, but I got paired up against the best guy for this round.
Okay.
Pro duck drawing. Like, how do you beat him? Right?
Just got messed in my matchup.
Yeah, like you got to have some kind of variance in this game.
Mhm.
Right? So imagine Magic is a game about drawing rather
Yeah.
than about.
That's it.
I play that game. I'd be terrible at it,
Me too.
but I'd try and coin flip my way into winning.
Well, I would not play.
I just thought of a new board game, so I have copyrighted that. And I'm gonna go and make it as a game so we can all play it together.
There's another card that Joe boarded in.
Yeah, I see this hearse. This
Mhm.
hearse is gonna be quite a hard one, but we
Yeah.
got like a lot of ways to kill it, right? We got our
True.
the command, right? With the boom command. We got our tear asunders, we got our trophy. We probably have some decays, maybe. I don't know if Nick's familiar with this.
Yep.
Decay's probably even pretty good because it kills Kiora, right? Like it does other stuff than just kill elf, like
True.
Fatal Push would.
True. So we're like plus or minus 8 ways.
Have 4-3. Parhelion's gone. Man, Nick had it. He had it. Right? There's a Parhelion underneath that Temple Garden, right? Nice and
Ooh.
cleanly.
Here's another thing. As the first time that I had an unlicensed person play, and my opponent went to
Oh,
put
it's
their
not pretty.
cards physically under my unlicensors, I was like, I really don't think this is going to work. Like this, I can see that this game is going to go 20 more turns and I'm going to activate this, 9 more times to put like 30 cards under it. I'm just going to check this with a die. Can you just put this in exile?
I hate that.
Really?
Absolutely.
What?
I love the demoralization that my opponent's entire graveyard is sitting on my side of the battlefield, that I have done it. Right?
I just hate picking up and using my unlicensors then.
A card can turn on a playmat the same as it can turn on another card on a sleeve. Right?
I don't have the same dexterity or experience that you do. So one of those two things.
I have not played unlicensors, so maybe
Okay.
you're right. You don't got to do a full pickup, right? You just pick up the corner and you just tilt it like that. You don't.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't do the one
yeah.
corner
But
pickup?
I'd rather just spin my 20 up.
I don't like that.
Okay.
That sounds sad to me.
I feel like I need to create the situation in one of our games now.
I think what I've realized is I don't think I like dice. I think
Okay.
dice are just not aesthetically pleasing to me in any capacity. Like if you told me that there was a way to track Planeswalker loyalty with like an abacus or something sweeter, I'd
Yeah.
be in. Then I'd die.
Viewers at home, I have not been a dungeon master, and John has. Just
Oh,
oh
we go
man,
too
we
far?
looked at an extra card.
Judge, you're gonna need to a judge just step back here to watch commentary with us, and we've made an oopsie. So yep, there we go. We did hit our Parhelion and a Chariot. Greasefang doesn't target, does it? But you get both, right? You just target both equipment. You'd have to find like a third.
I believe it does target.
Greasefang?
Yeah, I believe Greasefang says put target thing at the beginning of combat on your turn, return target vehicle card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just return a vehicle card from your
Right,
graveyard. So
right.
it would just trigger and then see what happens when you resolve. Interestingly, Soul of Windgrace
Okay.
does not target.
Right.
You just return a land. So when the trigger resolves,
Mhm.
lands come back.
Yep.
Right. So interesting to see that like there is templates like that in similar sets recently.
Yep.
Seems strange that they
Mhm.
would do it like that,
Mhm.
but
The judge call that I always get is when I'm playing burn and my hammer opponents need the text on deflecting palm and whether giver stops it. It doesn't because it
it's the
says
source. Yeah. It's not
choose.
the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't target.
I will say a lot of that is like weird interactions are my favorite, right?
Okay.
Are my favorite about Magic.
Yeah.
We talked about one yesterday, right? So you and I, one of my favorite interactions. So I play Niv Mizzet, right? A lot of times, especially against mono green, I keep in my Valky, specifically to be Valky, not to be Tibble, right? Because I think playing a Valky, interrupting with their hand, catching some sort of old growth troll or something, just one card for card, can pressure a planeswalker because I'm killing all their creatures, is actually worth a card to me, right? And I've had many games against mono green. I cast Valky on 2. They're like, what? I then take their old growth troll. They're like, that's annoying. And then I go to my turn. I attack into something and they like block because it's a 2/1. And I go turn it into an old growth troll. And they're like, wait, what? And they read it again. Like, this has another ability. What? It can turn into a troll. And then because it's a troll, it dies. It then comes back to my forest because I have all these triumphs. It then is the ability that the old growth troll has. I can sack it. I can also do this other thing.
Yeah.
But it also is a Valky entering the battlefield, which means I've given my opponent their card back when it died, but I now get to trigger it again and take a card again.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like, it's fantastic. And every single time, every interaction, why did I cast a 2/1? Why did I activate it? What do you mean it's coming back? What do you mean it's taking my card? Every single time we need to judge. It's just so, it's beautiful. It is just the most beautiful Magic.
Yeah. And I know when we talked about it last night, you said a lot of the times you just like attack your 2/1 into their 4/4 and they're like, I'm gonna block
all the time. Yeah. We saw those creatures or those vehicles getting eaten. This is no, stop it. I like
yes. See, it's too clunky.
No,
it's too
not.
clunky.
No, it's not.
Wait, now there's not even a die. How do we know?
They'll know. That card's not attacking for a very long time.
That's true.
Yeah, this Hearse, very good card in Pioneer, right? We saw it on the match that you covered with Potter, right? I stood next to Chase as they took the Spell Pierce, and then Spell Pierce immediately off the top. And if that was Hearse was in there, I think that game is going a very different direction.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
We see our Karn. There's no good like bowl. Oh, we do have a troll off to the side that's hanging off. We do have good blockers. Got a grip from Nick here though. What kind of how do we see the sequence of like Nick breaking out of this? I think I see like a Witherbloom command, blow up the Hearse. Whoa, we're attacking. We got to be Kiora to give vigilance, right?
And is Karn gonna do nothing this turn?
Well, we don't have mana.
Oh.
I think this.
Okay. Oh no, we are getting that. Okay. That makes sense.
They boarded the land back out? There's not one in the main deck, is there? That wouldn't make any sense.
You want it on the draw? I don't know.
Okay.
Joe's just madman. Big brain. Yep.
Yeah. Well, no, I guess the last turn of that last game, we need to draw a real spell. We drew this Darksteel Citadel. So ship it.
Got it. Got it.
Punished in timeout.
Got it.
So it is only appropriate that it has been removed.
Oh man.
I feel like the way that Nick gets back into this is Witherbloom command, probably like kill Hearse and mill myself for 3. Hope to hit in a vehicle. This is not feeling good. Anything you're rummaging away is just getting eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karn is gonna be a problem though for that vehicle too. Kira can't stay away. Yeah, we did use the Kira to give vigilance to the troll. I mean, if we had a way to like a Terra Sunder to be able to exile the troll and be able to clip this Karn down with our 4/3, we're just kind of stuck. I guess that wouldn't even work because we would probably just animate the Hearse at that point, right? Now be able to block. Hearse is real magic.
Yeah, I mean, you asked what the sequence looks like. I think we tried our best there, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really in Joe's favor right now with
Yeah.
this. And it's, I honestly really like, it's all based on this hearse. Like I said before, like bringing in some of the cheaper interactive cards like Needle, Hearse,
Mhm.
Crypt is one I can see leaving with the Karn, but because it's just like does it that turn.
right,
But
right.
you can do it on turn 3, right?
Yep.
But I think Karn's already doing that, right? So like the statue, oh, the demoralizing statue is just
Yeah.
like you're not dead, but you're dead, right?
Right.
Game's just so slow.
Ooh.
We have some maybe shortcutting of I think you're dead here. You got a lot of cards. Tear Asunder in the deck.
Yeah.
Find their way out. I will say multiple times this game, Tear Asunder I think has been the best draw.
Yes, absolutely. Or even like multiple off the top would be the only way that we're back in.
Yeah, there's no card that I think is really gonna fix this problem.
Yeah, I really do want to know what Joe said about the statue as he was playing it there, because like I think it was something like I think you're dead now, you know, like I like you.
Why are we tapping for mana? Everything's gonna cost 2 more. I don't think we have anything.
0 mana spells in Pioneer.
In my Pioneer, oh, it's in response. Is what we're looking
That
to.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Much more sense. It's real awkward to use this Grizzly Salvage because we don't want to do it now. We want to be able to kill the hearse and then Grizzly Salvage to be able to find a thing and somehow I've clipped this Karn. But we missed anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's Rafine's Informant. Not gonna get there. Hit for 4. Yeah, I mean, all it takes is Joe gets on tap, even if there's no more spells coming. Just my statue is a 6/6 coming at you. Double block.
Very true.
I like this. I think like you gotta block at some point, right? Joe seems to have enough mana. That's not true. Joe has a lot of cards in hand. I think, yeah, this extra mana for Joe is going to be really well used.
Yeah, I think we can see that. Like, there was at least 1 copy of Storm.
Yeah, because the extra mana is 2 extra mana with the Cure now, right? Because it adds 1 each time.
Yeah.
We now have 9 mana accessed. All kinds of cards. I mean, there is definitely now, though, we draw our Tear Asunder. Or Abrupt K, you kill the hearse, you flip the Karn, right? You hope your opponent misses on a storm. Like, that's the line I see this game being able to be recovered, right? Yeah, you have the statue, it's going to be annoying. But I need my opponent to have a bunch of storms and not be able to get out of it. Yes. Oh, I understand. Some of our comments are talking about left in the Darksteel Citadel after game 1, not the intentional board in, maybe. I like it. Yeah, I'm feeling like that's not the one that's going to do it. It costs 2 more. Yeah. How do you like Rafine's Informant?
I mean, that's a pretty cool magic card. It doesn't quite do enough for me, you know?
I agree. So the problem is on paper, wholeheartedly agree. In a lot of games, it is enabling that fair game plan. Like you need another creature that can attack and importantly crew the chariots.
Yes.
And it does a lot of that. Like that with the Seder Wayfinder crews after they do stuff, right? Like yeah, like I have been surprised by its ability to play some of these games.
All right, new answer.
Yeah.
Rafine's Informant with a counter, big thumbs up. Rafine's Informant without a counter, big thumbs down.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the counter matters a lot.
Yeah.
I think that I was talking to some people yesterday about more of like an Esper version of this deck. What do you think of Rafine?
I love Rafine.
Stop it. Why does everybody love this card?
Have you attacked with Rafine in play yet?
No, it just seems so scary. Like not scary at all. It seems just like a solid meh.
Well, in what way? In the way that it's not that many counters on a dude that like that doesn't matter, or in the way that like looking at 3+ cards after I'm attacking with a board that I've already made is pretty meh.
I think if you're getting 3+ cards, you're already doing really well for yourself.
Okay.
Right. So like if you're talking about this in a very aggressive humans, it's a human. Is it not a human? What is it?
It's not a human. It's a Sphinx, I think.
Perfect creature type. Yeah, we got stuff going. We got our Cavalier. Got to find a Nykthos, hopefully, to close this game up. We got our Teferi in play. No Nykthos. Maybe there's another turn coming back. No, this hearse has got to be more than 6, right? So we just suit up the statue, equip the hearse, or man the hearse, and just get to town. Yep. That's what's happening. Some shortcutting here.
And there's not.
Oh no, the Karn's dead. That's right. They did kill the Karn with the Rafine. But the hearse has got to have 12 counters on it by now, right? Played on turn 2, or like million turns. If only we had some sort of like card system or dice to be able to keep track of that. Oh, there's a Karn. All right, easier math.
Yep, done.
I mean, Joe can't go infinite here, right? Just don't have a Nykthos to generate the mana.
There it is. Just waiting for the creatures to turn sideways.
So there it is. We see Nykthos ramp, mono green. Again, most popular deck in the room. Taking it down. I think I mean, I expect to see like I'll put a line. 3.5. You see over or under that many mono green decks in the top 8. 3.5 is the line.
3.5 is the line?
Yeah.
I think you picked the perfect number.
Thank you.
To make it difficult.
I agree. 2.5, I think, is pretty easy.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I would on 3.5, I will take the under.